If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we join in it or not. And it is one of the great adventures of all time. And no nation which expects to be the leader of other nations can expect to stay behind in this race for space. Go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Hello guys, how you doing? Welcome to Sim UK. This is Reentry, an Orbital simulator, and you know how I love my simulators. Space simulation is definitely something I feel is lacking quite a bit throughout the world. There's not really any really very decent, realistic sort of space simulation, and this is definitely ticking quite a few boxes. Now, I can't show you everything that this game has on offer at the moment. For one thing, it's still in early access. If I just switch over here temporarily to the desktop, you can see that I've already spent maybe 3 hours in the game. It's got very positive reviews. Came out on the 15th of November 2018. Still in early access. It is progressing very slowly. It's £20 at the moment. And there's a lot that's good and a lot that's not quite as good as it could be. And a lot of it is still in development. Now, it doesn't say here anywhere that it's got VR capability, but if you come into the actual game, there is a setting in here. We go back and find it. Okay, this has changed since yesterday. Weird. Okay, let's input controls. So if we come all the way down to the bottom, somewhere here, we've got a VR. There you go. Recenter VR button. So I think this may be heading towards VR support, or maybe it's there, but they don't really talk about it. I'm not sure yet. That's something I'm going to have to look at soon. For the meantime, though, what I can tell you about this game is that the manuals the game provides are very much coming off of, for example, the Mercury flight documentation. Each shuttle or aircraft or rocket has its own very detailed set of instructions and details, and you can see here this is taken straight out of the NASA documentation, which is available online, and they invite you to go and look at it. So we are talking about some very, very realistic systems here, switches, pull levers, etc. Now, whether or not these are modelled on the real thing, I couldn't tell you. But if you're thinking along the lines of VR, then this kind of ring pull system is a very sensible way of approaching the systems here. Now, whilst they've got some voice footage of the actual astronauts themselves talking to radio control and control talking back to them, that adds a real sense of, it gives it a real wow factor. But what they don't have at the moment is any sort of voice talking commands at all, which is a bit of a shame because that really does detract from the immersion. In addition to that, there's no head tracking. That is another thing that I really think would boost the immersion level for this game. But even with all of that taken into consideration, this is definitely a very, very authentic and immersive space flight system experience. A lot of the controls and the systems and the timings are realistic. Some of it has been dumbed down so that we can actually, well, A, so they can code it, I guess, and B, so we can actually comprehend it. But on the most part, this is going to feel very, very, very realistic. So let's jump over into the game, and I'm going to do Mercury lessons. I'm going to do a launch and an ascent. So I'm going to go into space, but I'm not going to come back down. Well, actually, I'm going to try and come back down, but that won't be part of the tutorial. Let's jump in and have a look. So you can see here at the bottom they have a Discord. I highly recommend you go and jump on there and have a chat with people. I haven't jumped in there myself, but I will be going there fairly soon just to say hi and share some ideas and find out what their plans are for the future. Random failures, that's something that's in the game as well. Not in this tutorial, but in the actual game itself. When you do a mission, that is what you've got. So you've got a few different camera angles. You can see this is all animated, all very realistic. You can rotate all the way around, get a good view of it. We have inside the cockpit, you can see all your navigation, all your communication devices are sort of here. Then you've got all your pressures and systems, etc. Flight control, position and navigation systems, altitude and fuel information. These are the controllers for the boosters and tower power systems, and when you activate them, etc. You got fuses over on the left, and then these are control modules as well. It's pretty decent. You've got a whole Earth. It's like a massive orbital simulator, and when you're in the dark, it is completely pitch black. And yes, I'm just going to open voice attack. We're about to launch and I haven't set anything up.
All right, lift off and the clock is started.
So my job is to check that this timer has started, and it has, so I don't need to use this button, so I can leave that off. I need to check all the systems, make sure that everything's as expected. Cabin air is okay. Cabin pressure is okay. Suit pressures are okay. Fuel is okay. You can see we're at 35,000 feet at the moment. Voltages are okay. I think this is supposed to be switched over, but I was a bit late to the party. And I'd very much say that the music is very much a part of the experience. It's excellent choice of music, and it really, really works. I'm going to sort of jump in and try and get this ship up and running to where it should be. I'm going to set transmit to UHF. which it is. We're good. I've armed the squibs. They're all armed. Launch control is set to ready.
Cut off.
So we've now detached, or we are now detaching from the tower, I think it's called. So we'll jettison that. There we go. We've detached from the rocket that got us here, and now we're just in this space module on its own. It's very cool. Very cool. Okay, so we're officially in space right now. Umbilical disconnected. So it's just telling you about all the systems and the dials and stuff, and you'll just have to do it a few times to get used to it. Retrograde is in 1 minute and 10 seconds, so I'm up against a time here. Healthy battery shows 24 volts. Kind of where that red line is, so as you switch through them. See, they're all good. That's the Earth. Got some great visuals. It's like a combination of some very poor graphics combined with some really excellent graphics and some mediocre graphics in the middle. All over though, I think it looks great. So we're just starting retrograde now. So that's the lesson. That's what this tutorial is. It's about getting up into space, and that was very much automated. I did have to throw a few switches in order to get it here. I think it would have still worked even if I hadn't have done it, because it's sort of automated tutorial. But now we're on our own. The tutorial is over. You can see there's the rest of our spaceship. And basically, it's retrograding. It's just getting us back into a position where we can return to Earth. And it's sort of all automated. You can see we're now bypassing that. So that's being left in space and we're heading back to Earth. So what I need to do now is I need to bring up the manual, go to the checklists and look at retrograde. Now there should be a Reentry. Here we go. What was that? Oh, okay. We've just got rid of the retro rocket. Everything's going exactly as it should, and we are returning to Earth, even without me really doing anything. So you can see these are the systems here. So the scope is going to retract automatically. You got some information here. This is basically all we need to do. At 24,000 feet, we deploy the drogue, then the snorkel, then the main chute. That's what gets us down. So I'm just going to take that off in preparation. Right, so after retrojet, check. 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 Got my checklist up here. Roger. Check. 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 So this should be green. And it isn't. We're actually entering into the Earth's atmosphere again here, but I don't think we're quite at the right angle. We'll survive because we're in a tutorial, but in reality, we're not 100% where we should be, I don't think. Okay, that was a pretty quick re-entry. Are we green? Still not green. You can see we're now at 50,000 feet, 40,000 feet. We are coming back down to Earth rather quickly, and we've got to deploy the in order to splash down safely. It's really difficult because I've only played this. I've played it for about 3 hours, and I've landed maybe 2 or 3 times. So it's still pretty new to me, and trying to talk to you about what I'm doing whilst still remembering what to do is proving to be quite difficult. But we'll get there. Right, we're coming round for the drogue. Let's deploy the drogue now. Pull the snorkel. So the snorkel is going down into the sea. See, it's quite far. We now have a drogue above us, which is basically a small chute that's slowing our descent. But we're nearly at 10,000 feet. We're at 15,000 feet. Once I deploy the main chute, and I deployed the landing bag a little bit early there, didn't mean to. But there's the main chute slowing us right down, and we're going to be going down into the sea. I think that's the drogue just flying off there. Alright, so let me just jump into the ship. I don't know how to turn that beeping off, so don't ask me. Let's see if we can get comms with control. Okay, so that radio check didn't go through, so I'm going to switch to high power. Still nothing, so we're going to switch to HF. Okay, so I've got contact with control on HF radio. Do an altitude check. I don't think we are 31,000. We're less than 10,000. So I'll deny that, not that anything seems to happen yet. Temperature check. Temperatures are fine. Battery check. 98%, 98%. We're all good. So you can see, hopefully, that there's a lot of realism here. Bearing in mind this is just a tutorial. This is a very basic tutorial just to get you into the game, just to get you to the point where you feel like, okay, maybe I could learn all these systems and understand what everything does and how it works. I think the water animation is very good. When it splashes down, it'll look fantastic. Now, I've looked on this module to see where the window is, and I can't seem to find it. And obviously around this side, it's almost pitch black, so it could be there. And I don't know if they send ships to come and pick you up, whether that's animated. I rather doubt it, but... Here we go. About to touch down. after being in space. I think it's awesome. I'll be honest with you, I think sitting in here, bobbing around in the sea would be scarier than going into space and coming back again. Because although it seems to be very buoyant, it doesn't take a lot for that to start sinking, and if that starts sinking, we're done for. That would be horrific. But yeah, anyway, as a first look, guys, just to give you a taste of what this game is capable of, I'm going to keep playing it, keep learning, hopefully come back to you with a full mission. And yeah, I very much look forward to your thoughts and feedback on this game. Personally, I think it's awesome for 20 quid. It's been in development for a long time, but it's certainly got a lot going for it. And if VR is coming or is available, then that's another massive plus. I'd love to see head tracking. I'd love to see voices doing the radio communications, etc. But other than that, I think this game ticks a lot of boxes for me. And hopefully it does for you as well. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.